Drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello and welcome to Edupedia World.
Welcome to SAP UI5 training session. In this session, we're going to see how a simple form can be. So earlier sessions, what we have done is we have seen a comparison of HTML, JS and all the other views. Now what we're going to do is we'll be seeing OData modeling. So before we go to a models, before that we have to know a simple control how the forms are displayed. Why these forms are displayed in the sense we have certain. So we'll go to a simple form. I'll show you the form and then you will have an idea. So we'll go to a matrix layout. In this matrix layout, we have different examples. So in this, we have a simple contact form. So first, how it works is first you'll be getting a requirement. So requirement will be a create a form, can be any form like employer form or contact info form, or suppose if you have a facebook.com, there is a registration page to register your username and password. So like that. So for that, any forms, because overall most of the UI there will be a lot of forms. So first we have to know how the forms in desktop are made and how we have to code and what are the things is required. So to achieve this kind of form, what we are trying to do is we have taken a matrix layout by making use of matrix layout, and we will be creating rows and columns in that matrix layout, and in the matrix layout we have cells. So how you get this idea? By seeing the UI, you have to see first the target audience. The target audience are nothing but desktop users. Now, so when we create columns and rows, that time we can achieve this. There is a contact data, this is a heading, the name, first name, address, city, country, date of birth, gender, and remarks. And there is a button here, change. So it displays some tooltip, and when I click on this, there is a way to change the image here, and we can get that image from any source, or source in the sense URL or a relative path from our project. And remarks, so you can write the remarks over here and display, it displays. So remarks is here, the data come from here. See, this all remarks is in the middle. Then there is a box. In this box we have a data. Now this is for the display mode, but we'll see the change mode because these are the controls at the end. Only difference is when we click on display, this image is coming, but URL for this picture is shown. That means we can change the image. So we have this provision for now. So we'll make use of this matrix layout. So how we are gonna do it? So first we'll create a matrix layout form. So we'll close all. Okay, we'll start from basic. So what is this? SAP UI5 app 2, because we are maintaining the same folder structure here. So when it says web content and then SAP UI5 app 2, here you have to right click and new and open a file. So which file I'm going to use here is matrix form desktop. This is a desktop form. Okay, we have a different for the mobiles. The mobiles controls we'll discuss in a separate session. So 2-3 controls we'll be using for mobiles also. That also will be discussed. That's the reason I'm saying specifically it is matrix form for desktop. So matrix form for desktop. We're gonna view which one you will be going to use. We're going to use JS. So for desktops, I am preferring JS. For mobile, we'll be seeing XML views, so that you will know the difference between how the JS view and how the XML view works. You can use XML view also here. You have to write your own way of coding. Means there are proper way of writing. So we have seen 4 different types of views: XML, JS, HTML and JSON. So we know how the syntax is for each and what is the purpose. So I'm creating a JS view. So I'm going to save this. Now how to start with is SAPUI.js view. So JS view I'm going to take. So here is a list of help JS view, and I'm going to, in this I'm going to write an ID like this we're going to do. So I'm going to save this, and before we already have it, so I want to write everything. I just wanted to check the previous one, whatever I have done. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to change names. That is the easy way of doing it, because I don't want to write all the things, because we already discussed about this. It will be matrix form desktop. This is going to save, and here we are going to use first controller, and then we are going to create content, and whatever we're going to write inside this, that will be displayed. And now we're going to remove this button, and I'm going to save this, and in this I'm going to write the code of the matrix layout. So the matrix layout code is here. Gonna see the examples in this day 2, and I have form.js. So this is the form I'm going to use. Hit here. Save it. And this is a form. So this form is nothing but we are creating a matrix layout. So O matrix. So in this O matrix, I have taken a new. So in this new, I have taken a control SAPUI_comments.layout. So we'll be going to index.html, and we're going to check whether the UI comments is existing or not. So this is the one way of checking whether they included or not. Yes, SAPUI comments is included, so we can make use of that. So we'll go to matrix form desktop. So we're going to see this. In this matrix, we have a property. So if you want to go and check the matrix layout API, you can do that. So I'm going to open it in a new. So this is what it is. And yeah, this is the one. So in this matrix, we have properties like width, height, columns, etc. rows. So this is a matrix layout. So we're gonna make use of this properties here. So ID I am given, ID is by default. I'm given matrix 4, and a layout is fixed. So layout is fixed in the sense this will be fixed. The layout will not change according to the columns. So if the column size is so and so, it will not be adjusted, it will be fixed. You will not play around the UI. So, and we are giving a fixed width. Layout is fixed, that's the reason we are giving a width. So when you are saying fixed, you have to give the width. So which size it should be fixed to, that is the reason. So we are giving 1000 px. So once we give 1000 px, the layout will automatically sets to 1000 px. And then we are saying we need 5 columns. Why we need 5 columns is, we'll go to UI and check why 5 columns. So this is a UI. We have one column for the names, second columns for the data, and third column is empty, and fourth column we are placing it an image, and fifth column we are changing it for URL for picture. So totally 5 columns. So we'll go here. So once we go here, we are seeing 5 columns, and then we are setting up the width. So width will be fixed. So first column width we are giving 150 px, and the second column width we are giving 250 px, and the third column we are giving it 200 px, and fourth and fifth also we are giving 200 px. So altogether when we sum, it will be like 200 into 3 600 px, plus 250 is 850 px, and plus 150 it comes up to 100 px. So the each column we are giving certain width. So the first column maximum size will be 150. So once we change this, we're gonna see how it works, the behavior of that. And the next, the first thing what we have to do is first row. That means heading of this form. So we are giving it for the contact data. So see the first column, and it is overriding the second one. Have you seen? So okay, the table can be a big size, but this is a form. This is a form. It doesn't have any heading or header for this form. We have simply in rows and columns only we have to set it. So we have taken 5 columns. Now we are setting it for the first row, complete row. We're gonna set it contact data. So for 5 columns, the data will be contact. Suppose in future the data comes like contact data information so and so, so and so, so and so, then this will be occupied. There will be no difference. Then we are creating that header. We have to take a cell. So whatever we do, we have to place it in the cell, because we will get the column space. That is called span. Now, how to create this OCell? We have to use SAPUI.commons.layout.matrix layout cell, and in this we have to give call span. So call span 5. When I have given call span 5, it means it has taken a 5 row, complete row with 5 columns. And then in this cell I'm going to place text view. So the text view, I'm going with the SAPUI.commons.textView library, that is my control. So ID I'm giving, and the text is contact data we need, and the design. So what is this means by design? So we'll be seeing SAPUI.commons.textView, and we'll be going there and we'll see now. So SAP, this demo kit, will be going to the text view, So we have a text view first. So we'll be clicking on text view. So once we click on text view, we'll get the properties. So text view property is text direction, visible, enable, so on. There is something called design also. Design, when you click on design, then you'll get the information, description of that. There's a property for design, that is fine. It defines the visual appearance of the control. What does it mean? So visual appearances, it can be any type visual appearance, what we see. So what it is, it only returns this particular thing, SAPUI Commons text view design. So in this, whatever it is going to return and it will be design. So what are this? We'll see. These are the few types, design types, which is available inside text view. We can only use this. If you want to use any other than this, you have to use through custom CSS. So let us take this, which is already defined and available for us. So we have bold, means the text will be bold letters, and H1 is header 1. Header 1 by default it has 26 font size, and H2 has a different font size, and H3 has a different font size, H4 has a different font size, and H5 have a different font size, and H6 has a different font size, and italic will be, the text will be in italic letter. We'll see these properties. And text view design monospace gives this more spaces in between, and small letters, standard by default it comes. So underline, if you want to underline the text, you can make use of this underline. So we'll be seeing this designs. So check designs, that's the second thing we're going to see. And then we had defined the text view, and to this text view we're going to add it to the cell. So over cell we're going to add content and OTV. OTV is nothing but O text view, and we are going to create the first matrix row. How do we create? With the create row function. There is O matrix layout, we get the instance of the matrix layout, and then we are creating one row, that is with the header information as an user. But we are creating a row with 5 column space. In that 5 column space we are giving one data, that is text view, that is contact data here with the design H1. And the next, we have successfully written first row, and now we'll concentrate second row. So what the second row is all about. So we'll go to the UI and check. First we have taken name, that is nothing but label, and the next we have taken a text box which contains a name, and then third nothing we have taken, and the fourth column we have taken a picture, that is with a row. It is occupying certain rows, because rows in this row, only one row, second row, we can't display the image. It will be certain size, it will be only like this the image comes. We don't want that. We want a bigger image that covers 7 rows. So we're going to do that, and next we're going to see, we will leave empty for the second row, 5th column. So second row, 3rd column is empty and 5th column is empty. So this is fine. This is the text view, but when it is display mode, this is enabled false. So once this is enabled true. So we're going to enable this text box, depends on the button. That will be handled, but by default we'll set it false, enable. Now we'll see the code. Now what I have taken is, I've taken a label that is with the last name, and it is sapui.commons.label is used, and there is an ID a label, that means last name, and I'm taking a text field now. So in this text field, I'm including a new SAPUI.commons.text field, and in this text field, I'm going to give ID, name, and in this text field, I'm going to give a tooltip, that is a last name, and next it is editable or not. I'm going to give this property, that is false, and then there's a value. So the value which is inside the text field, that is Masterman have given, and the width for this is 200 px. The width we are setting up. Why? Because we want a uniqueness throughout the rows. So normally when we have taken a second column, we have given 250 px as a width. So now what we have done is we have taken a 200 px width, 200 px width, so that the text fields will be 200. So we are, this label we are setting it for the text field, and then we are creating an empty O shell. So in this empty O shell, we are, this is empty, that's the reason. And we go to another cell we are creating, that we are creating an row span 7, because we want an image need to be displayed for the next 7 rows. So what we have to display in that 7 rows, that is an image. So we are going to take SAP UI Commons.image. If you have noticed, every time we are using SAP UI Commons, so that means we are using it for the desktop. So OImage, and in this OImage we are taking an ID. So ID we have given a name, and with that name we have given a SRC. So SRC we have given SAPUI5 app2/images/face.png, but we don't have it. SAPUI5, there are no. So we're gonna set this image also. We're gonna do that. So we're gonna these the 3. First we're going, and then this alt is displayed when that image is not appeared. That time the alt message will come. This is nothing but alternate. So next is tooltip for this image. This is a picture of contact, and next we are setting up height, that is 200 px height for this image, and then we are placing this in a cell. We are adding content, and with this content we are adding image. So now we are successfully creating O matrix dot second row, create row, and we are placing first column is label, second column is text field, third column is empty, and fourth column we are placing image. After image, the fifth column, whatever it is, we are not defining anything. It will automatically leaves an empty space. So next, so similarly what we're gonna do is we have to go there and we have to check what is the third row is. So third row is only 1 and 2, that's it. And we're gonna third, fourth, fifth we're not going to touch. Why? Because we already displayed this image by using the reference of the first row. We have displayed this. So now we're gonna do it for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. There'll be a difference. Here we are adding URL for picture, and then 7th we are going to do this. Okay, so we're gonna see now first name and the other fields. Till date of birth we'll see, and we'll come back to this again. We'll go there, and now what we are trying to do is we are taking an O label. In this O label, what we have is SAPUI.commons.label, and we have taken a first name, that is a second row we have taken a last name, now it is a first name. So now after taking the first name, we have taken a O text field, and we have displaying a field and ID. Tooltip we are giving for this, and is it editable false. We don't want to have a editable true and on display mode. So we are giving a value that is max. So maximum number of values we can have. So width 200 px. Whatever the text field we are placing a value that will be displayed as max. So max is the last name, Masterman and Max. And we are setting a width, and we are setting a low label for set label for OTF, that's a text field. And we are creating successfully a second row because we are only concerned with first two columns. The third, fourth, fifth we don't need because we already did something with the third, fourth, fifth column for the second row. And the next, similarly, we are creating a O label for street name, and in the street name text field we are taking, in this text field we are taking a tooltip called text and editable false, and we are giving a value for the first text field and we are setting it. See the width we are setting it, it's 150 px. Why we are going to be 150 px is we go and see this. See, we have set it this as 200, this has 200. Now this has to be 150 plus 150 we are dividing. If it is 200, what happens? We'll see. So we'll be going here. Yeah. So we're going to set it for the 50 and another text field. So this is a house number and editable false. Similarly, the value is 10 and the width is 50. 150 plus 50, yeah, it comes up to 200. So maximum length is 5 to be entered inside this. And then we are creating a multiple controls in one cell. That is O cell, add content OTF, OTF1. The cell will be of 2, that is 2 text fields. So that's the reason we are sending multiple text field controls. You can see text field controls within one cell. So in this cell, we are one text field, second text field. So we are creating a row, only 1 and 2. That's it. Similarly, we're going to do it for the city. So we have taken an ID and inside this text. So after the text, we have taken a text field. So with an ID, tooltip, and is it editable or not, we are checking. And then we are giving the value inside this text field and a width. So we are setting it 200 px. And we are setting it for the label city, and then we are creating another row with 2 columns, and third, fourth, fifth is by default we have already done it. Similarly, we do it for the country. So SAPUI.commons.label and the ID text we have given, and we are giving a combo box. Why we have to give combo box? We'll be going to UI because this is a country. So the country has a list of information. So this is a list of information. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 countries listed here. So we're gonna do it as a combo box. So combo box will come. So that is a combo box, and we can select anything you want. So we'll go there and we'll see how the combo box is created. Now SAPUI commons.combo box. So this combo box is done, and then we have given an ID to this. So and tooltip, and is it editable or not, we are checking, and the value, and then we are setting up the width. So tooltip, editable is false or true, and then the value, and then we are setting up the width. Then we are setting up the label for this combo box, and see by default we are setting up one value, And then in O item, so we have different things. So one is Canada, another one is Dutchland, and then England, and the another text is nothing. So we have is South Africa. So I'm going to save this, and in this item, list item, in this combo box always it should be a list item. Okay, how you'll come to know about this is you have to go to combo box control, there's a combo box control, there's a checkbox combo box. So once we go to combo box, this is an compass for drop down box also. You can use drop down box also. So here, see, we are using a multiple set of items. So these items need to be an aggregation. This is how it is, 1 to n relationship. So in one control, we are putting a lot of data, means we want a list of countries. So once we got a list of countries, it will be more than 1. So it will be 10 or 20. So that is one control has a 20 number of items inside. So that is nothing but items aggregations. So that is the reason aggregation items comes. So when we click on these items, we have something here. It should be a SAPUI.co.list item. Only that will be accepted. First, items. Hope it is clear. Now that's the reason we are using SAPUI.co.list item. So inside this item, we are taking an ID and we are taking a text, that is Canada, and similarly we are adding it to this. Each item we are adding it to the combo box. So how do we do it? We're going to do it with the add item function. And similarly we are going to do that with the Dutchland and item, O item. So here we have taken names like this. That's fine because we are adding it straight away. So don't get confused. You can take a different names, but I'm taking the same names, O item, and I'm adding it because I'm not using this item anywhere down. So I'm ending up adding to the combo box here itself. So that's not a problem. This name is same. So that's not a problem. So we are ending it up here. This life of this variable dies here, and the life another one comes here like this. So I'm going to add 4 countries and I'm going to add it to the combo box. I'm going to create this row. Done. And then once I create this row, the next is date of birth. So in this date of birth, we have taken a O label, that is date of birth, with an ID and text property. And now I'm going to use a date picker, that is ID inside this and tooltip, and it is editable or not, false by default. We don't want to edit this anymore. We want to edit this only when we press change button. So till that time, by default, it should be false. Now, which format date picker accepts? So there is YYYYMMDD. You can have a different way of time formats, date formats. So YYYY, so that is my year, MM is month, and date means D. So this is a value 2015-03-01. Have given date and O label and set this label and date picker. And then I'm creating an empty cell because we'll go to the UI and check why we're gonna do an empty cell. Here it is. So we have taken a date of birth, and then after date of birth we have taken a date picker, and after date picker we have taken an empty cell. Then this image is already displayed, but we want to write this URL for picture. So we'll go here, O cell, and I'm going to take a label, the last one, like fifth column, URL for picture, and visible is false by default. Then O matrix, we are creating a O label, ODP, O cell, and the fourth column is already there. We already have done it. So once we say O label 2, so it automatically takes the fifth one, because we have blocked it, fourth column for this 7 rows. So that is why. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be first column, second column, third column, and this will be a fifth column. So label 2, ID, text, visible. And next we are taking a gender. So to this gender, O label, text, we are taking as gender, and we have taken an ID, and ORBG. So ORBG is nothing but radio buttons we have taken. We are taking a group of radio buttons as genders, and in this gender we are going to place two values, that is male and female. So radio button group I have taken, and this gender group created, and with the two columns, we have two columns. So is editable false when it is in display mode. We want editable false, and once we load this application also, by default it should be false unless we click on change button. And the next O item, that is male, and another one we have taken a female. So what we have taken, the properties like ID, a text, and a tooltip, and a key. Key is always important. Whether if you don't have an ID, then you can make use of key. Like how it works, like you can get the instance of this particular control. So if you want to make any changes in future, then you can make use of this ID or key as a reference, and you can get the instance. Or if you want to change the text, or if you want to do anything, whether it is a radio button now. So if the radio button is checked, you want to do something. See, when you say, when you have seen the forms, so there will be forms when you fill up your passport form or any forms, there will be use the same address above. When you click on that, there will be a radio button, use the same address. Then once it is clicked, the above address will be copied to the below. So that is why we're gonna do some operations using on this ID or key. So you get the instance of this, whether it is clicked, that means selected, then we're gonna place that email, that address into the next field. So I'm taking a male, similarly I'll be taking female, and I'm going to add this as an item. And this also, when you see SAP UI comments.radio button group, there is item aggregation only. So we'll go there, radio button group, and we'll see how it is. So radio button group. So radio button group is radio button group. So we are taking a group of elements, items. So we are not taking only one. So here we have aggregation items. So items as aggregation, that is the reason. So once we click on that, so we'll get an item. So we get it for aggregation items, radio buttons of this radio button, and there is what that. Once we click on it, you'll get what is an item. So in this item, what we have, see, we have key, text, etc. properties. So we'll go the properties and we'll see. There will be a text, there will be enabled, text direction, and the key. Okay, so we have used as key. There's a key is always for references, can be used for the input of the substring action. Any actions if you want to make, you can, based on this key, you can do that. That is what it is. So we'll go to the code. So we have added 2 items to the radio button group, and then we are creating an empty cell. As usual, the third column will be empty because we want to leave the space. And the next will be a text field, because we want to have a text field where the image SRC will be placed. So we're gonna see OTF here, SAPUI.com's text field, ID, tooltip, visible by default false. Only when we have a change, that time we are setting it to true. Now we're giving a value on inside that text field, and we are setting up the width. By default it is, we have set it for 200 and we are making use of 100 there. And then whenever we make any change in this, so we are placing a setting the SRC to that particular value. So we're going to see this also, how we're going to do. Here we are setting up value image, setting the image. Changing an image URL. Source. Okay, changing an image URL. We are doing text field. So what is going? We're gonna see this. How we're gonna change this? We'll see. Okay, once we change, what is happening, we'll see that time. So next we are setting up the label and we are creating a row. So the first label and then radio buttons and empty cell, and this fourth column is already blocked, and fifth column your image, that thing will be displayed. And next is our label. Once the UI comments is done, then we'll see this remarks and this empty certain comment area, and then we have our buttons. So we're going to see this too now. So O label with the text remarks, and O cell with the call span 4, and a text area with an ID and the tooltip, and we are seeing editable is true or false, and then we are wrapping up the text. So by default it is on and off, so we are setting it for the off. So we don't want to wrap the text. So wrapping the text is wrapping the text to the control. Depending on the width, the text will be wrapped. So tooltip remarks, and we are setting the value inside this, and then whenever we use /n, that comes to the next line. Whenever we use /n, that comes to the next line, and then we are setting up the width as 100% and height as 150px. And next we are setting it for the label, and we are creating a content. We are adding a O cell to it, and then matrix. We are creating a row with O label, first remarks, and O cell. So in this O cell we are taking a column span 4 because we want another 4 columns need to be occupied with text area control. So we have used text area control here. So then we are creating a rich tooltip for the buttons. So we are creating a first button that is called a text change. So how do we going to use a button? Create a SAPUI5 and inside this we are adding an ID and tooltip and the text, and the width we are giving. Width can be a 10 em or 10 px, etc. So we're going to see this also. And then we're going to see this, how the press event is working on that, how the text is going to change. So to this button we are adding a rich tooltip. That is what rich tooltip is, the bigger tooltip and with a bigger information, more information. So change button, title we are giving, and then if you want to change you can change it. And there is some operation happening, so the functions we'll be discussing later. First we'll be concentrating on UI, how do we want to display, then we add few functionalities to it. Next we are creating another tooltip, same thing for the save button, and then we are creating a button here, say adding a tooltip, and we are adding a text for save, and we are giving an image, and then we are going to say enable false. Then we are going to, once we press, there will be a values added to the dummy when we can save, and we're going to create this row with 2 buttons, okay, and a matrix layer. Then now we're gonna see the UI. So we're gonna save this file, and now we're gonna see it is synchronized, and then we have to go to index.html and we have to make sure that the matrix form desktop is been called from the index.html. So we'll go here. Here we have a view name SAPUI5 app2.table. So we're gonna change it to matrix form desktop. I'm going to save this, and the view type is always JS. Yes, it is JS only now because we are using a JS view, so it's always should be JS. So once we change the view to XML or any other HTML, then we have to change that type. So saving this, and I'm going to see that in our previous one. I'm going to refresh this. So once I refresh, yeah, so this is how save button, change, the change, the image is coming. Okay, this is how it is, but there are missing images, 1, 2, and there is a broken thing here. So we're gonna use some other name there because some characters are not proper. So first we will be changing the street number, and so how to change it, we have to go there. So we know where it is, the street. It should be 3rd. Yeah. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to see. Yeah, let's change that. We have changed it. Now we're going to see the image. So once we change the image, we'll have to open it in a new tab, and we have to check why it is not coming. Then we'll go here. Yeah, see it is going to SAP app2, SAP app2. We don't have this face.png. What we have to do that? how to do it. So one way of doing is this save as. You have something, you want to copy this image into your thing, is copy, right click, copy this image, or you can open it in a new tab, then this will come, and here you can do copy image, and you can directly go to your project folder, and you can see here, you can directly say right click and paste it. It will not say cannot paste the clipboard content into your file. So there's another way of doing is this save as. So once you save as, it will go to your web content folder, etc., and you can directly save. You have to give the path. You have to go to that particular project path, and you have to save it in the image. So once you save it, it will be downloaded, and we'll be going to the project, and then we're gonna refresh this. Once I refresh, see the face.png appears. So we have to give this path over image. So this is nothing but web content. So after web content, there is image folder. So what we have to do is we have to remove this. Then it will come to web content, and then it will search for image, and then it is face. And we're going to save this. Once it's saved, it is synchronized. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to check our project. We're going to refresh this. Once I refresh, the image had come. Is it? So similarly, we're going to do it for the save button. So how do we do it? So we're going to, this is a save button icon. So image, save image. So we're going to save this icon there, similar fashion. So we have to change that save button URL as well. So we'll see save button URL. So where it is, it's in the down. Yeah. So we're gonna save this, and we'll see whenever the save here also. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run the application once again here. So we're going to save two places. We have to see change save button. So this is not appearing. Why it is not appearing? We haven't refreshed it. See image, it didn't come. So what you have to do is you have to refresh. Once you refresh, the save icon came. Now once it comes, then it will be shown in the, see now the image come. See here also image displays. Press this button to save the value. Easy. This is way. So this is all editable false. Once we gonna change, then editable true. So once we click on date of birth, it will come. Okay, this is a 10px. That is what. Okay, now we'll see now we have displayed. Now we'll see the logics, functionalities. We discussed few things which we'll be talking about. The first thing is the size, width. So we have taken 150, 250, 200, 200 and 200, right? So here I'll give you 100. Suppose here only I'll give you, suppose 150 I've given like this. So 1050 here only given, but with this much. So how our project application behaves, we'll see. We refresh. See, done. The first column is this much space it has taken. So that is why. So we have to properly align it. Once we say 1000, then we have to say proper. Once you say a layout is not fixed, or else you have to say false, and then we're going to change. We're going to see now what it happens. Any change? Yeah, this is done. We change. Yeah, it comes to normal, and then we're going to see here 1050. It should be used in the same way. See, when I say layout is fixed false means this, like this it comes. So it will be fixed to this particular UI. When you say fixed false, so it is fixed on the screen, so automatically it will be adjusted. But I don't want this, but I want layout to be fixed, because this depends on the text, it keeps changing. So I always want it to be fixed, that is why. We'll save this, and then second one, we have a different text view designs. So we're going to see this H1 is for this. I'm going to refresh it because I have changed something. See, I haven't changed this, that is the reason. So you have seen the same thing, only text, only one change is layout fixed. That makes the difference. So I'm going to save this. Next, I'll be seeing this H1 design. I'm going to refresh this now. Once I refresh, it comes back to normal. And in this, we have a contact data information. When you right click and inspect element, then it will display the font size of that. See, by default it is 26. That means it has taken a class called H1. Is it 26? That is what. So we have different types of designs. So what it is? So layout, matrix layout. So that is UI layout. So we have API reference also here for the matrix. For the matrix cell we have, we'll go here, yeah, text view. The text view we have, so we'll go here and we'll check the text view. Yeah, here is the text view. So in this text view we have multiple designs. So we'll go to design first, design here. So once you get the getter and setter, so we'll go to UI text design. In this we have this. First we're going to use this one, directly use this, and the text should be a bold one. So I'm going to save this, and the text will be changed now to bold. H1 is by default, it is bold. See, this normal text, and it is bold. If you don't want to use this design, then we're gonna see now. So we just have to remove this comma, and we're gonna set this to the next. And we're gonna save, and then we're gonna refresh this. See, this is not bold, nothing. So like this, similarly fashion, you can make use of all this, and we can use italic, and we're going to see what italic does. So italic is nothing but, you know, it comes to italic. And save. And we're gonna refresh. Once I refresh, see italic. If you want to check, right click, inspect element, and you can check the property of that class. It will be italic. Yeah. See font size is 12, and that is nothing but italic class been applied. So in this italic class is applied. So like this we have another also design, monospace. Similarly, you can check by yourself. So how it works. You can just copy paste it and go to your project and just refresh it. Once you refresh, see monospaces like this. Monospace has a, like italic, it has a monospace property. Like this we have. You want to have a custom one, you can have a custom one with your own class. I'll revert it back to H1 now. I'm going to save it. And then we're going to see the other one. Difference is images. The image we have taken, and the next thing what we have discussed is another text field. So once we go in and refresh it, let us come back to normal. Yeah, contact data. And then what we're gonna do is, in this change, we have a fixed one. So what we're gonna do is 150/50, right? So we're gonna extend this to 250, or maybe 300 and 350 will make. We'll make first 350. We're gonna save it, and we'll see the difference. Once we refresh this, see it has come to the next line. Why? Because this length, what we have given for this column is 250. This is 200, 150. This is 150, 250, 200, 200, 200 we have given, right? Similarly, it will take 250, but we have given 300. So that's the reason. See, this is what. So we're gonna go there and we'll change it to 250. Then this will come. This has not ended, because see the difference. This is nothing but like closing the text field, but it haven't closed. It closed somewhere else which is not seen. So once we refresh, this displays. I'm going to change it. See, now the text field is ended. So like that, we want a text field to this proper alignment. That's the reason we have given 150 and a 50. We have divided into two parts. So we'll revert back to 150 and 50. So we'll save it. And I'm going there. I'm going to refresh this. Once I refresh, yes, and I'll go to the change mode, and this is what. And the next we'll see the image URL. Now this is the face.png, right? So we're going to change it to something else now. So we'll go here and we're going to check this. How do we get this? Is F2. Go to the image and press F2. You'll get it. Or you can right click it, rename. Then you get this. You can copy the source and then you're gonna change it there. So once you're going to change, so see, the image is changed, right? Image is changed. So how it is going to come? Once you get the text field, when the value is changed, we are going there. We are going here, image text field. Yeah, here. So what we are trying to do is we are getting a core, that is with SAPUI.core, and we are getting an event source. It's a change event. So we're getting the source of this. So the value we are changing it to something else. So we are getting a value OTF.getValue. We will get the value of that image, and we are setting up to this image. How do we get it? OCode.getControl. So we are getting the control, image control with an ID, and then we are setting up the source to this text field. Whatever you change, we are doing it. That is how we are setting up the image. First, we are doing it with the core. Core, that is not SAPUI.getCore, and we are getting the instance of text field, and then we are getting an instance of image. How we are getting the text field of image is cores with SAPUI.getCore.getControl of that ID. Then you will get the source, and then we can do it set source. Then you have to do. This is how we are going to do. And the next, when we click on display and when we click on change, we are changing the data information. So how are we going to do that? So once we click on display, there is a function which is called this is a function, and before that we're going to see this width 10 em and 100 em. So 10 em I'm basically giving 40 em. How the width size varies, we'll see. I'm going to refresh this. See, this is what the 40, but this 40, so that's the reason. So we'll give it to the 10. So it can be EM, PX or percentage. All has a different behavior. For mobiles, we use generally EMs and percentage. Pixel only when it is fixed for the desktop. So I'm reverting back changes, and then yeah, change button comes. Now what I'm trying to do, and similarly what I'm trying to do is I'm just taking an instance of core. I'm getting a text field for the first name, and text field, if it is set editable, is not dot get editable. So when this it is editable is true, we are making it to false. So O change controller, get controller for the first name, and we are getting it for the false. We are making it, if it is true, it is getting false. Yeah, here the control is true, it will change to false, or vice versa. Okay, if the control is true, it will change to false, and vice versa. The same way we are doing it for the first name, last name, street, H number, house number, city, and the country. The country we are setting it country, we are changing it editable true, and display data also we are doing the same thing, and gender also we are doing the same thing. Visibility we are just changing editable true, and then get visible we are doing. And then after this we are changing the button text, so the save will be enabled, and then we are getting the change. If it is changed, we are setting the button text to display, and then we are displaying this text. So you can write it a display mode, and it's a change mode. I'm going to save this. So once this is in the display mode, changed, and like this we are saving it. So we'll see the difference now. So what is happening? Once we click on change, this first name, last name, house number, city, street, country, date of birth, gender, and remarks is all getting enabled. And then here we have something called URL, picture for URL, that will be visibility. We are setting it to true, and then we are, this save button is disabled. Now we are enabling this, and next thing is we are changing this change text to display text. See all coming. How we going to do it is we are getting the instance of this all text boxes, and we are setting up for the visibility and editable. Now its text is changed. Now it's in change button. It will be display mode. Once you click on this, it will be on a change mode. The change button, and change mode. Once you click on this, it will come to display mode. Once you click on this, it will come to change mode. This is how you're gonna do it. So this is the code. Getting the text. I'll once again make it clear. One, we are getting a code because you don't want to write this piece of code again and again. So that's the reason we are taking it in a variable, and then we're getting the control, first name control, and then last name first, then the first name, what this name is. So this name is nothing but ID which you gave there. Here the text field, this name and this name should match. So once is a, and once I'll try to find Control F, same name here. Here it is get control, it will go here and it will find. Similarly, do it. So like this. Similarly we'll have for the image picture also. So you can go Control F, and then you can find it, and we're going to send the text. So like this, we're going to do it for each and every control. Similarly, we'll get the control and set editable this. How it's going to happen, we're going to see it in a sources. Once you go to source, so here you have this, and you have a matrix .js. In this change, we're gonna see this is how the control works. So we'll put a breakpoint here. Once we click on change button mode, it will come to here, and then the next we are getting a text field name, and then we are setting it for this we are going to see the editability. See the M properties. So OTF. So once you go to M aggregations, so we have a tooltip last name, and then we're gonna see properties. In this properties we'll have, is it editable or not? See, editable false. Now once we go to the next step, now it should be editable true. Now we'll go to see the M properties. See, now it is true. So it is changed. This line means we are setting up to, if it is true, it is false, false, it is true. So similarly we are going to the next. So you have to press F10 to go to the next line. So like this, we're going to check each control, then visibility. That's it. So we're going to end. How it is. So it is going to display mode. Once you say 12, see, once you see the behavior also. Change mode. So still it is not there, but once you do F10, 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 see, here you changed to editable true, but the other properties haven't edited. So next will be max, next will be house number. Now you just see it here, just line by line, it is changing. So here also it is changing. This has been changed, and now this is changed. Now the save button. You're getting the text. We're going to change. Now once we have this all, then see, change will change at the last. This is how we have changed it. So first we have seen the matrix layout form, and we want to replicate the same form. So what we have done is we have used the matrix layout, and in this matrix layout we have placed this kind of controls. Form, we have taken a matrix layout form. In this we have divided into rows and columns, and we have placed the controls accordingly. So this is how the matrix layout form is displayed. That is for desktop. We will go to index.html and we'll see what type of theme is being placed. We'll be changing blue crystal to blue crystal. That is for mobiles. Now we'll change it to gold reflection. Save this, and we'll go here to our project, and we're going to refresh this. See, this is a gold reflection one. So this is what exactly in the demo kit. See, exactly in the demo kit. Alright, it was a blue and different thing. Now this is what. Once you clear also, this is what change. So you're going to change it to something else. So once you change it also, it comes. So what we have to do, I'm going to use this name. I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to use it here. So here the text comes, you change it, text comes, and then display the image. So this is how we're going to change the image. Now this is for the simple contact data. Like this forms, any forms you get in future, you can make use of this kind of matrix layout if it is for the particular form related. Then we can do it. It is for the desktop. First we have to check, whenever we have to check whether the target audience are desktop users, mobile users. If you do it for the mobile, it will work on the desktop as well. So it's always better to use mobile when your target audience are mobile and desktop users. So when your target audience are desktop, only desktop related information you can give. And controls, you can use this, and you can use the theme gold reflection. The controls will be always SAPUI Commons for desktop. Thank you. In the next session, we'll be seeing a modeling. So before modeling, we have to know how the forms and data is populated. Then accordingly, we can use a simple raw data, and we'll convert that raw data into JSON in the next session. And then we'll be moving to JSON file, how to fetch JSON file data, XML file data, and OData. That will be seen in the further classes.